Right. Yay! I am so excited that you decided to join us tonight. So grab your pen, piece of paper, maybe some bubbly or a cup of tea, and we're going to start in right now. So my name is Maureen Calamia, and so nice to meet all of you here tonight. I help people rise to their most luminous selves through the understanding of energy, light, and consciousness, and by deepening their connection to the natural world. I use the tools of Feng Shui, other earth-based practices as well, and mindfulness. In 2018, I published a book on the 5 natural elements called Creating Luminous Spaces. And just a little secret, I'm hoping to get 2 more books published this year. I founded the Luminous Spaces Feng Shui School in 2014, and I offer certification courses in the type of work that I do. I speak at events, run retreats and workshops, but most importantly, I am married for 36 years to my husband, Joe, and have 2 amazing adult children, Allison and Bobby, who are on their own amazing journeys as well. So why am I hopeful for 2022? I'm sure you join me for that. Well, first I have to do a little foundation here. So we're going to talk a little bit about astrology, but this is not an astrology workshop. So I'm going to try to keep it as succinct as possible. Now, if you're not a student of astrology, it doesn't really matter that in understanding this energy, because you felt it for the last 2 years. We all have. I've been a student of astrology since I was 12. Yeah, that's young. But I did neglect it for a decade or so of my life, not because it wasn't relevant or meaningful in my life, but I just got distracted. I just kind of got pulled off by waking life things like college and getting married and having children and trying to build my career. All of that stuff, which I know you have at least experienced some of that as well. But I returned to astrology when I was in my mid to late 30s, when things just started clicking and I wanted to learn more about myself. And I found it to be so insightful and helpful on figuring out who I am. I'm still figuring that out. Who am I? And what my purpose is here on the earth. So it wasn't until months leading up to 2020, though, that I really started paying more attention to like the forecasts and understanding what's going on a more broader global scale rather than just really personal. But, you know, something was happening and something I was hearing about 2020 really made me take notice and really become a student in earnest again. It was the alignment of 3 major planets in the sky in 2020. So first we had Saturn. Whew, Saturn is the planet of authority and, most importantly, our challenges and limitations in life. Another planet was Pluto. It's an outer planet, right? The furthest one out there, known for its intense power of transformation. It's about creating and destroying at the same time. And then there was Jupiter, usually a benevolent planet, and it's a planet of good fortune. But when it met these other 2, it really had the effect of blowing up those energies and making them larger than life. So there you have 2020 in a nutshell. And those planets met each other 3 times. They got together as a little clump. A lot of astrologers called them the COVID clump because they just kept meeting in the sign of Capricorn. Now, In 2021, along came another significant challenging aspect in the sky, again with Saturn, the planet of challenges, restrictions, and limitations. But this time he squared, which means coming into conflict and tension, the planet of Uranus, which is one of those outer planets that is also known for destruction and creation. But Uranus is more on a lightning bolt impact, lightning sudden change in our lives. So that energy is so unlike, although it's like Pluto in its impact, I guess the time frame of it is very different. Where Pluto is like slow and relentless and just builds. Uranus is like boom, like you never see it coming. So a lot of people this past year had a lot of sudden change in their lives, often around power dynamics with others. So relationships no longer working, or careers or jobs no longer feeling fulfilling. So again, these two planets met up 3 times in 2021, and the last time it met up was December 23rd, so Christmas Eve. Now, those planets are moving apart, but we were all impacted by the energy of these last 2 years, every single one of us. But some people were much more impacted than others. If you're one of those people, I'm giving you a big virtual hug, because these have not been easy times. But although these are difficult situations, I believe, and so many others do too, that we needed some kind of course correction in our lives, which is not over yet, absolutely. But these changes, these sudden shifts gave a way for many people to let go of things that were no longer working for them, and relationships that were no longer working for them. So although these planets created a lot of chaos and stress, they also opened up room for new opportunities and new ideas and new roots to kind of emerge. It has awakened many more people to a spiritual life and has ushered many of us to explore a more soul-fulfilling path. So, yeah, these 2 years have been quite stunning. So why am I hopeful for 2022? Well, just the sheer fact that we don't have any stressful major outer planet transits this year. So like we did with Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in 2020, and Saturn and Uranus in 2021. In fact, we have a beautiful alignment of Jupiter and Neptune, which is the first thing I want to talk about. And we're just going to talk about astrology for a little bit here, just to kind of set us up and give us the stage for the rest of this webinar. So Jupiter, again, as I mentioned before, is the most benevolent planet typically. It is the planet of good fortune. Wherever it is in your chart, that area of your life, you tend to have fortune. So both Jupiter and Neptune, which is the planet of dreams and spirituality, are meeting up in the sign of Pisces. They both co-rule Pisces. So that means they are really comfortable there. They love it there. They love expressing their energy to the fullest in Pisces. So some astrologers have actually said the theme for this year is dreams coming true. Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? They also say they believe many people will awaken to the truth that there is magic everywhere, And it will open us more to our intuition and listening to our mystical guidance, listening to our dreams, paying attention to our dreams, paying attention to those little nudges that we get. So whatever you've been working on, maybe a shift in your life, this is where you're really going to get traction. Things are really going to take off. So another thing that's going on is Uranus. Again, the planet of sudden shift is aligning with the North Node. And the North Node, of course, is not a planet, but it's a spot in the sky. So the North Node is about our future and our life path and looking forward. So it can bring sudden awakenings to our life path and journey. And if you haven't already identified what that will be, perhaps you will this year, in fact, soon. So the energy is so good that even an article that I read today in the New York Post, of all places, said that this is a great year for the arts and spirituality. So definitely we're moving in a very Age of Aquarius type of direction, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So there's a lot of that energy coming in this year. Now, if you do follow anything about astrology, you probably heard of the United States Pluto return. Now, that means that Pluto will come into the exact spot that it was when our country was, quote unquote, born. So astrologers kind of cast a chart based on the Declaration of Independence signing, and that was the birth of our country. So Pluto takes, I think it's like 248 years to go around a chart. So none of us will ever see a Pluto return, but a country will, right? So the United States is getting its first Pluto return. So because that's about major transformation, some astrologers say, oh my God, this is intimidating. But the fact that it's slow moving, it's not sudden shifts. We've been feeling the energy of transformation for many decades already. In fact, some people go back to the 1960s. So we kind of have this arc of growing pains and shifts and energy moving in a particular direction. So this year will just be maybe a little bit more of that. But because of Neptune and Jupiter and Uranus in the North Node, it will bring a softer, hopefully, effect of that. It will soften. So I'm very positive about that. Now, numerologically, 2022 is a number 6. So you just add up the digits in the year to get the number for the year. So the number 6 is known as harmony. It's about love and compassion and heart-centered thinking and feeling and acting out of the heart rather than the mind. Now, number 6 in the tarot deck is the Lover's card, which obviously is about male and female love, or dualistic, love between two people. The energy is also about choices, and it's about the feminine, compassionate energy, and it's heart-centered choices. It's about, loving kindness. So we are going to have an opportunity to consider our beliefs and our values in life, what we want to do in this lifetime. So the last few years have really helped us discover some of that, hopefully. And if not, this is your year. So just with that in mind, from that really challenging, crazy 2 years in a global way, this year is turning more to the heart. So let's keep that in mind as we go through the rest of this workshop today. So I'd like to share some unique tips. They are different than what you might think to help you harness benevolent and loving energy this year. So the first tip I have is a single red flower. And it's my favorite feng shui tip. And that's why I put it as number one. So first, let me just kind of share a little bit what's on the left side of this chart. And it is called the Bagua map. And the Bagua map is one of those most amazing tools, one of the tools we use in feng shui to look at a space. So it's separated into 9 equal sized areas that represent different areas of our life. And just quickly, the way you would look at this is if, say, you had a rectangular home, you would just lay this kind of map, superimpose it over your home, and you would know that, maybe your door comes in through the career area, and the back left would be wealth, and the back right would be romance. Basically, that's how it works. But of course, we don't all live in rectangular or square shaped homes, so it can be a little odd. I'm going to give you a link to a blog post that will help you figure out how to use this a little bit better. It is definitely a little challenging with some spaces. So the reason why I'm sharing that is because I want you to consider putting an artwork or a real flower, red flower. Now, why? Flowers are sweetness and gentleness, and they represent love. Red represents the most auspicious, positive, fortunate energy in Chinese culture. And, brides wear red. And in Western culture, there's dual meanings for this color. Of course, there's the negative emotions of anger and violence, but in a positive way, it's about vitality and life. It's very energetic. And when a lot of people present, if they want to embody that fire energy, they'll wear red. So I didn't wear that today, but I really hope I can communicate that fire energy to you tonight. So one is leadership. So it's having leadership in that energy. One stands out, right? So I'd like you to consider placing artwork or a real flower or a silk flower of a red flower in one area of your home that will that you're looking to bring delightful surprises into your life. So, hey, that could be romance, right? If you're looking to attract a partner into your life, or if you want to inspire creativity, you could put it in the children and creativity area of your home. If you need help with some health issues, like you want to get a delightful surprise, you can put that in the health area, and so on. So you decide where you're going to put that single red flower. Now, I actually, when I learned this cure, I put it in the helpful people of my master bedroom because I really wanted to spark helpful people in my life. We're going to talk about the helpful people area in just a moment. But just back to the Bagua map, you can lay this over your entire home, like I just said, but it's also very movable and flexible. So you can actually lay it over any room in your home. So you can lay it over your bedroom. Doesn't matter where your bedroom is in the Bagua map. You have a wealth corner in the left far corner of your bedroom. Standing at the door, you've got a romance corner as well. You've got a helpful people area. You've got a self-knowledge area, and so on. So I put mine in the helpful people area, and it's really been great and very helpful for me. And I'll talk about that next. So the second tip is activating helpful people. And so you can do that through, I have a few suggestions here. So there's the helpful people area. You could do it in your whole home. You could do it in the helpful people area of your home office or your bedroom or any room that you'd like. So how do we activate it? You want to put something in that area that really is meaningful to you and makes you feel inspired and enthusiastic. And if that's artwork, you can also activate it with something that's very yang energy, like a metal wind chime would be great there. If you put a metal wind chime, make sure you move it every once in a while. It's just to get the energy moving there. Anything that moves energy will be great to help activate this area. One of those feng shui crystals that's multifaceted and clear is great also, because hopefully it can bounce some light from a window and it creates rainbow colors in your space. And that's really auspicious. So I have a picture here of an owl. It's a power animal for some people. So let me tell you a little story here. I've been working on a project for over a year, and I do have a power animal. It's a deer, and I've had many dreams and many waking life encounters with deer. And deer are one of those spirit animals to me that help guide me on my path in a very important, they play a very important role in my life. So in my home office, there was nothing there. So I said, oh my gosh, let me bring artwork of a deer into my Helpful People gua. So I got this beautiful banner and hung it over in my Helpful People area. And this project that I really need a lot of people to help on has really picked up. I probably put it there about 2 months ago, and about a month and a half ago, like a few weeks after I hung it, I started getting traction and movement, and people like saying, yes, I'll participate. Yes, this is really cool. I'm excited. And it's just been amazing. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, so consider your power animal if you know who that is. Or if you're not sure, whatever you think of probably is a power animal for you. Helpful people is great to inspire friendships, helpful colleagues, great relationships with your boss, mentors, clients, referrals. I mean, it's endless. Like if you want to get, a really helpful teacher for your children is great for helpful people. So any of that, you all need helpful people. Okay, so number 3. All right, you might be going, how is this feng shui? Well, if you don't know me, and I introduced myself in the beginning, it's all about our connection to nature. I strongly believe, and it's just very intuitive, that as the industrial age and the technology age has taken over our activities, we've become so disconnected from the natural world. And that disconnection has led to a lot of anxiety, stress, depression in people, and a feeling of not really getting it, who we are, what we're doing here, and it can lead to a life filled with rather than meaningless. Getting out into nature and not just going with a friend for a walk, although that's good, because I know what happens when I go for a walk with a friend. We just don't stop talking. Um, it's really better to go out alone and just spend a few minutes. If that's all you have, if you take your dog for a walk, just be more mindful. Really look around and absorb the scenery in with all of your senses. Feel the wind on your face. Feel the sun. Smell whatever smells there are around. Notice whatever's growing or what's not growing or wildlife. I mean, really take it in. It's so important. Research proves that being in nature helps improve focus and productivity. And it also is wonderful for helping reduce anxiety and depression. Basically, feeling more joyful is what we're looking to do in 2022. So believe me, get out there every day for at least a few minutes and be present, be mindful, take in your surroundings with all of your senses. Okay, so number 4, a mirror portal. So mirrors and feng shui are really, they can be used for a lot of different things. So I know this sounds a little odd, but we can use it to help improve relationships. So for instance, if you have a neighbor that's really challenging, like rings all your bells all the time, and you're looking to improve that relationship, which I hope you are, you can hang a mirror on a fence if you have property, or on a party wall if you're in a multi-family dwelling unit. And what you're going to do is you're going to send loving kindness through this mirror whenever you notice it, whenever you're being stressed by that relationship. Just the idea that, Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. So if you're looking for other people to behave better with you and to respect you, you need to do that back. And we do forget that. We really do. We get annoyed at people, we get angry, and we show disrespect back. So placing a mirror in that direction and sending loving kindness, because remember, people behave that way because they feel insecure or perhaps victimized in some way. There's that kind of like power dynamic. So sending compassion. You never know what happened in their day or what's going on in their family or whatever. Okay, so it doesn't have to just be a neighbor. It could be a challenging family member or a child. If it's an extended family member, you could put it in the family area of your home or bedroom. If it's a child, you could put it in the child area, just very simply. So just remember, you're sending love and kindness, and believe me, it will be felt. Now, I just want to share this one client that I had. She was in a string of stores, and she was renting from the landlord was next to her. And basically the landlord would always leave piles of stuff in front of her store. It was like he meant to irritate her. That's the way she felt, like he was doing this on purpose. And he might have been, I have no idea, for one reason or another. So when I told her about this cure, she was like, okay, So she hung it in the bathroom in her shop. And that was the party wall. And she said she just was sending loving kindness to him. Within like a week or two, the relationship totally shifted. And he cleaned up the whole front. And he was basically asking if she needed any help. I mean, the relationship shifted 180 degrees. So I've seen this work over and over again. It really works. Okay, so number 5 is do one good deed per day. I know you're saying, Maureen, this doesn't sound like feng shui to me, but it is. So the founder of the school that I practice is called BTB Feng Shui. So the founder of BTB Feng Shui is Professor Lin Yun. And he always said the number one thing to cultivate or enhance our chi and therefore enhance our experience of life was to do one good deed per day. But don't stop at one. If you have the opportunity to do more, do it. It could be as simple as sharing a colleague's post with others, or writing a testimonial for someone on LinkedIn, or telling someone how much you really appreciate them. It could even be just smiling at the person at the checkout counter at the grocery store. We cannot have joy and gratitude when we don't share that with others. It always comes back to us, the energy that we put out. So why not let that energy be loving and kindness and compassion, right? So let's just review. So a single red flower, activate helpful people, go outside and be still, hang a mirror portal, do one good deed per day. And I have one more bonus that I'm going to tell you at the end. But first, I want to give you a little sneak peek at the Luminous Spaces Feng Shui School. So my school is based on the re-nature philosophy. That is my own philosophy, and that is our nature connection, which I've mentioned before. It is so important in our lives, and feng shui is such an amazing ancient practice of really, really connecting to the natural world. We do a real deep dive into the 5 elements. Remember, my book, Creating Luminous Spaces, was all about the 5 elements, and I really love them because they're a great way to tap into our inner selves, which are all made up of the 5 elements, to the outer world, which is all made up of the 5 elements. My school has an unsurpassed foundation in feng shui principles. It's really a solid learning on those principles. It also includes topics like geomancy, divination, dowsing, astrology, but not the type that I just chatted about before. It's all based on the 5 elements. It's very simple, very elegant use of astrology. It also includes a little bit about biophilic design, which is all about bringing nature indoors. It's an emerging discipline in design. It's fascinating, and it has a tremendous kinship with feng shui. Let me see here. I mean, you're also going to, I forgot to mention, you're also going to learn how to do a feng shui consultation from the beginning to the end, how to do residential, how to do commercial properties, how they're different, how they're the same, gardens, a real broad spectrum of ways that we can use feng shui with clients. I'm a constant student. As you can tell, I'm constantly training and learning about astrology, but I'm doing the same with feng shui and other related disciplines. And when I learn things, it changes my worldview, it changes my perspective on things. So my school is very dynamic. Although there's the core work, I'm bringing more stuff in as things come into me. And you know what? Nothing is static. The one thing about feng shui is that everything changes, and we know that. So feng shui needs to shift and change. And, you know, the way that we've done feng shui before, it just doesn't work. So things are constantly shifting. I've been teaching a certification program for 13 years. I can't believe it. And the Luminous Spaces School is in its 8th year. So exciting. And the number 8 is really auspicious. So very happy about that. And I am an author and speaker, and I hope to be an influencer in this genre of the esoteric work. So as part of the Luminous Spaces Feng Shui School, you actually access all your content right on my homepage. There's a little login. You go into what's the resource center, and that's where all the content is. You're getting things like PDFs, PowerPoints, full of photos to help demonstrate feng shui in action, worksheets, charts, templates, and videos of me teaching each of the modules. And we also have a vibrant Facebook group. Students ask questions. We post information on upcoming live sessions, and replays from previous sessions are all there. We're always in there posing new questions and learning from each other. So the program allows you to become feng shui certified. It's self-study, but with lots of one-on-one support. There's always someone available to help with learning and questions. We do live Q&A calls twice a month. They're recorded, and if you can make them live, it's great to come and ask your live questions. If you can't, you can always watch them after the fact. We offer study buddies so that you can have some fun learning feng shui with somebody else and help, you know, like an accountability buddy. As I mentioned, the interactive Facebook group that we have, that's a private group. Experiential assignments that basically take the content and help you apply it in your own life. So important to learn the application of it and also to get feedback. You will do mentored case studies, basically consultations that you will do with me as your mentor in the background so that you have a real feel for how this all works. You get a feng shui consultation on your home, and you can say that you're certified from an IFSG Gold School. IFSG is the International Feng Shui Guild, which is the premier membership group in the world. It's a really fabulous community of feng shui practitioners. So just now through Saturday, you can get your membership or your enrollment in the Luminous Spaces Feng Shui School at 2021 prices. On Sunday, the prices are going up, $800. So you can get in now. And there are 2 different levels of enrollment, which is great. We've got the bronze and the platinum. You can review them and see what fits your needs, what would be good for you. And I always welcome students to schedule a time to chat with me. I have lots of openings, and I'll send links so that you can see everything and have an opportunity to schedule that chat if you have questions about the school. So are you interested in learning more, but not ready for a feng shui certification? Well, I would suggest I have 2 different video course options that are really fantastic. One is called Feng Shui Your Home, and that one is based on walking through the main areas of your home and doing feng shui on each. The other one is called Create Your Luminous Spaces, which is based on my book, Creating Luminous Spaces, and it's actually moduled by the 5 elements, which is really fun, really cool. So lastly, My last bonus from author Pam Grout is for you to say every day, something amazing, awesomely amazing will happen for me today, and then watch for it. So I want to say thank you for being my awesomely amazing thing today. I am full of gratitude that you've decided to spend your time with me today. And I look forward to hearing any questions that you have. Just reply back to my email, or if you can schedule a chat with me. I would love to hear where you are in your journey and your path. I want to hear your enthusiasm for 2022. And I just want to say, yay. I do this several times a day. I go, yay. So I look forward to chatting with you. And thanks again for spending your time.